You know, adoption is often a very complicated process. Two women in Iowa were so close to their dream of starting a family. Things fell apart, and the biological mother changed her mind. Sadly, though, this is just the beginning of this tragic story. Watch this.
The baby room painted blue.
We were at the ultrasound and found out that he was a boy.
A sturdy crib, new outfits.
My mother made this for him, his birth announcement.
And a certificate signed with two tiny footprints to make it official. Rachel and Heidi McFarland knew the moment Gabriel King McFarland graced them with his first smile, he was a perfect fit.
Just true love, that was.
It's like he knew instantly, hey, you're my mama's.
But this family fairy tale took a dark turn 2.5 months after bringing baby Gabriel home from the hospital.
She wants the baby back.
Gabriel's 16-year-old birth mother changed her mind, leaving these once bright-eyed, beaming with pride parents with a gut-wrenching void.
Do you remember the last words you said to him?
Oh, well, I love you.
Yeah, as we kissed him goodbye, and I apologized for failing him, and that I couldn't fight anymore for him.
So little baby Gabriel went back to his birth mom and father, breaking the hearts of the moms-to-be, and then this happened.
56 minutes after Gabriel McFarland was left in his father's care.
Hello? 911.
A frantic call to 911.
Somebody left my friend's baby that they were babysitting by themselves, and the baby's blue.
Gabriel's mother left the infant with his father, 17-year-old Drew Wheeler-Smith, at this Southside apartment. When she returned not even 1 hour later, Wheeler-Smith was gone. Baby Gabriel was alone and unresponsive in his glider chair, bottle in hand. White foam outlined his mouth.
How old is the baby? How old is he? He's like almost 4 months. Okay, you need to lay him on his back. What? Is he breathing? Is he breathing, Martia? No.
KCCI obtained this emotional plea for help. In the 6-minute-long recording, Gabriel's mother is heard screaming in the background. Police dispatch walks her friend through CPR for baby Gabriel.
Yep. Do the chest again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're doing fine. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm.
Gabriel wouldn't pull through. Wheeler-Smith was initially charged with neglect, but is now charged with first-degree murder.
Really tragic story. I want to remind you of the timeline of everything that happened here with this baby. Let's take a look at that if we can. Now, on December 28th, 2013, baby Gabriel was born and goes home with his adoptive family. But the adoptive family, the McFarlands, never get official custody of Gabriel. So what happens is, on March 13th of 2014, the birth mom wants her baby back. So the McFarlands give Gabriel back to Ms. Atkins. Then on April 22nd, 2014, baby Gabriel dies, and we know there's now murder charges pending. Jane Velez-Mitchell joins our dream team, and there's a lot of tragedy here for this beautiful baby who had a family that wanted him, a mom, a birth mom who wanted him alive, and then the birth dad jumps in, and the baby's dead. He's charged with murder. Jane, there's a lot of places where things went wrong here, and this baby should be alive today.
Yeah, and there are so many issues we're going to talk about tonight at 7 p.m. Teen pregnancy. This mom's 16 years old, and this lesbian couple had paid the medical bills for her. They had helped her through labor. They had paid the legal fees. They had cut the umbilical cord. But the one thing they hadn't done was gotten the paperwork signed. And it was right before that paperwork was signed that the biological mother decides to take the child back. And then she leaves the child with the teenage father, the 17-year-old father, for a very short period of time to run errands. In that time, her friend stops by at the house to pick something up, and actually notices this teenage boy with this child and calls the biological mother and says, do you think it's a good idea to leave this child with this guy? And so the mother then races back. By the time, in just under an hour, that this man, this 17-year-old boy, man, whatever you want to call him, was left alone with his child, the child is found dead. He is nowhere in sight. The child has a white substance around his mouth and is unresponsive. So It's a tragedy on so many levels, and I think that one of the most gut-wrenching parts is that the McFarlands, the lesbian couple who had really bonded with this child, found out that he had died watching the news.
Unbelievable. You know, the friend that you mentioned, the mother's friend who had stopped by the house and had seen the baby with the father and was concerned, ended up calling 911. Take a listen.
911. Answering. Hello? 911. Somebody left my friend's baby that they were babysitting by themselves, and the baby flew. And how old is the baby? How old is he? He's like almost 4 months. Okay, you need to lay him on his back. What? Is he breathing? Is he breathing, Martia? No. Okay, listen, I'm going to help you and give him CPR, okay? Okay, lay him down, Martia. On the floor? On the floor? I lay him flat on the back, on the floor. Remove all the pillows, okay? On the floor. Put him on the floor, Martia. Now listen to me carefully, okay? Place your hand. Okay. Place your hand on his forehead and the other hand underneath of his neck, and carefully feel your hand on on his forehead. Okay. And the other one on underneath of his chin, and tilt his head back, okay? What? And tilt his head back.
You know, I'm looking at the picture of this child, and I still can't fathom how anyone could bring harm to such a beautiful little baby. Let me go to Lonnie. Lonnie, and this is one where paperwork wasn't done. You know, in Iowa, you get a little bit more time, you know, birth mothers to okay, I really do want my child. They get days, but we're talking about months that transpired here. The paperwork wasn't done. To me, someone's got to be blamed for that.
Yeah, and you know, Vinny, I have to tell you, this story breaks my heart. I am adopted, and this just really strikes an emotional chord for me. This little baby was so close to having this beautiful life with these loving parents that were going to raise him, and he ended up in this other situation. And, you know, adoption is a long process. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of steps that the parents have to go through to be able to qualify to take these children into their homes. And I don't know that it was the parents' fault or the adoption agency's fault, or maybe the mother was, you know, dragging her feet on signing the papers. So I don't want to assign the blame there. You know, there's always that potential that the mother can come back and try and take the baby back. But this is such a tragedy. And these young mothers, I mean, I am grateful every day that my birth mother was able to recognize that for whatever reason, she was not capable of taking care of me, and was generous enough to let go of me and let me have a wonderful situation with a great loving family. And you know, this young 16-year-old, it's hard when young children, they get a romanticized idea of what they can do, you know, in this family life that they fantasize about. But it's a very hard thing to do, to be a young mother. And clearly in this situation, she didn't have the support she needed to be able to take care of this child.
When we come back, after several minutes of trying to revive baby Gabriel, the 911 call continues. Its chilling conclusion next, plus efforts to bring justice for baby Gabriel.
This baby, taken in by a loving adoptive couple. They spend thousands of dollars on the teen girl who becomes pregnant and decides she doesn't want the baby. They support her boarding, her food, her medical care. They're coaching her through the delivery, even cutting the umbilical cord themselves. But then, after just a short while with the adoptive parents in the happiest home on earth, the girl decides she wants the baby herself. Just days after taking the baby back, wrenching it out of its adoptive home, baby Gabriel found dead.
And now the father has been charged with murder. Let's take a look at the charges against the man accused of killing this baby. His name, Drew James Wheeler, 17 years old, the baby's biological father, first-degree murder, child endangerment resulting in death, being tried as an adult, Eric. This is the villain here in this story.
He's the total villain in this case. He's the garbage. He's the person who should be thrown under the jail. I mean, any father who would basically do anything that causes the death of their own child, I mean, that's a serious problem in our society.
No, but what happened in that 56 minutes? You know, that's what I want to know. What was it? Was he planning this the whole time, that when they got the baby back that he was going to kill this baby? Was the baby crying? You couldn't get the baby to shut up? Did you give the baby some drugs? What happened? That's what I want to know.
I think that might be it, Mike. I mean, he might have gave the baby some drugs. The foaming at the mouth. The foaming at the mouth and the discoloration.
Well, let's take a listen to the end of that 911 call that may shed some light on that.
Are you still doing it?
Yes.
Keep going.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 24, 28, 29, 30. What are we doing? We're waiting. We just left them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're here. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Are they there yet?
Yes, sir.
Did the paramedics take over?
What?
Did the paramedics take over?
Yes, the fire department's here.
Do they have the baby?
Yes, they have the baby.
Okay, you did great. You did wonderful.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Jane Velez-Mitchell, I know you're all over this story tonight at 7. How are you going to break this thing down?
Well, we're going to try to find out what killed this child. Was the child killed while the teenage father was inside the home and then he flees? Or did he neglectfully leave the child alone while the child's still alive and leave, and then the child dies alone? I don't know which is more horrific, but we're going to get a forensic scientist to try to analyze what does it mean when the white substance is on the baby's mouth. Why did the father leave? There are so many unanswered questions, and the big question, why wasn't more done so that this loving adoptive couple who wanted this child were willing to really sacrifice their lives to care for this child? Why was this child ripped from them? That's tonight at 7.
Tonight at 7 on Jane's show. And Lonnie, that's always the challenge here. You've got the birth parents who have lots of rights and they have time to change their minds. And in this case, that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely, and that's always the risk for these adoptive parents. They go through all of these steps, they spend all this money, they get so emotionally attached, and yet they still have to wait and see if the birth mother is going to come in and take the baby back until finally the waiting time is over. It's always a risk for adoptive parents.
And as I look at the criminal case going forward, where the answers will come from, it seems that prosecutors must have some of the answers as to how this child died in order to charge first-degree murder, Mike.
Right, and to charge him as an adult and charge him with premeditated murder. So they must have some information that we don't know about yet that makes that a first-degree murder.
Yeah, really a difficult case. And the one thing that strikes, I think, all of us is when we look at the pictures and you just look at the photos and you wonder in all these cases involving children, how on earth could an adult do anything to harm that child?
Unbelievable.
Could they do anything to harm that child?